This is Scott Beck with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. This is a business and market update, 10 stories we're following today. First, the biggest story is probably Fitch downgrading the debt of the United States from AAA to AA+. This is a great lesson for all of us. It's not something that should be ignored. It's something that should be taken seriously. Thank you for listening. The second we did a separate podcast on this as well, but there is an adage that we use regularly that debt kills nations, companies, and families, and we got to figure out a way, bipartisan, to figure out this debt issue. Second, another key political governance issue, Trump indicted grand jury charges former president in 2020 election probe. Again, whether you agree with the indictment or not, it is an example of sort of the sad state of our government that it's constantly either, in this case, maybe President Trump being corrupt, or in another case, either side's judicial power is used against the other political party. But what an overall mess our politics has become, and it's one of the things that Fitch said as well in their downgrade discussions, deficit and political sort of like challenges and governance challenges. Again, I don't have an opinion on whether they should be indicted or not. I just think it's all symptomatic of a mess that we've got going on. Third, the markets are getting killed today based on U.S. debt downgrades. The S&P is down about 1.4%. Fourth, the NASDAQ and the S&P fell yesterday. The Dow was barely up. Fifth, many stocks yesterday had major moves. I'll just go through three of them very quickly. JetBlue fell 8%. Caterpillar rose 8.85%. Norwegian Cruise Lines dropped 12%. Zebra Technologies dropped 17.27%. And again, the lesson from my perspective is, unless you're a savant or can follow this so closely, or so many stocks you can diversify into, is to invest in index funds, not individual stocks. So that's our big point that comes out of this volatility. Watch the volatility in the markets. Warren Buffett says index funds are the best way for everyday investors to grow their money, and so forth. That's what he has said over and over again. I think that's correct. That's totally correct. Sixth, Bitcoin had fallen back below 29,000. It's now back above 29,000. We'll see how that plays out. Seventh, the one-year Treasury opens about 5.4%. The 10-year Treasury right about 4%. Eighth, oil right around $82 a barrel. Ninth, iPhone sales down, but the big message might be that a lot of people are holding off to buy the iPhone 15 this fall, and we'll see if that's the case and if iPhone sales sort of rebound based on that. 10th, Starbucks missed on same-store sales estimates for the quarter. I'm a regular Starbucks user, so I don't, I can't say that I'm the problem here, but they did miss their same-store sales estimate. Finally, 10th, for the podcast that we'll record today, this is the last one for the day. One is a shout-out to a colleague who started a great business in her 50s. It's never too late. The second, volatility in individual stocks in the case for index investing. For example, even when the market's down 1.4% today, you lose 1.4%, not 17% if you pick the wrong stock. Third, the big story of the day, U.S. debt downgraded. And the fourth podcast that we're recording right now is the Market and Business Update, 10 stories we're following. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity Business Podcast. And thank you to Chanel Bunger and Jeremy Corr, just phenomenal on the podcast side of the business. Thank you so much for joining us today.